Straight to our big focus this evening. Two young girls level charges of sexual assault against a powerful seer in Karnataka. They say that Dr. Shivamurthy, the pontiff of a mutt based in Chitradurga, under whose care they were, sexually abused them. It's been 5 days since POCSO was slapped against them, and yet the man has still not been questioned. There may or may not be a case to arrest him, but why has he still not been questioned? The girls aged 15 and 16 have recorded their statement. Politicians who have come to pay their respect to the seer have said what they always say, that the law will take its own course. Is this how the law takes its own course? Protect the VIP because he is politically influential and silence the girls who gathered the courage to name their alleged abuser after 3 years of being allegedly, repeatedly raped. What is playing out in Karnataka is a travesty that should shame us all. Dr. Shivamurthy is the chief pontiff of the influential Muruga Mutt. He was last in the news for blessing Rahul Gandhi and saying that he will be the Prime Minister of India. That was the last time he had actually hit headlines. Before I go to my guest this evening, and we have all sides represented here on Urban Debate because we want to hear from everyone, every stakeholder, I'm going straight across live to Chitradurga from where my colleague Deepak Bopanna has been reporting for the last 5 days. Deepak, you are reporting to us from outside the mutt. I believe the pontiff continues to be inside giving darshans to his bhakts. Is the police saying anything about why they have still not questioned him after 5 days? There has been much public pressure. There has been much media pressure. It's almost as if that pressure doesn't matter.
Absolutely, Shreya. And one thing we would have hoped for is some answers from the police. And we've been asking repeatedly. Now, this is a man who's been accused of aggravated sexual assault, and that too on minors. And for the last 4 days, for multiple times, the young children have been subjected to questioning. They were brought to the same building where the seer is even now inside. And, the spot inspection went on for 4 long hours. Now, despite all of this, and despite even the, statements being recorded before a magistrate that concluded at about 8:30 last night, they were taken in for, the statement recording after lunch. And there too, for hours together, they were there. All the processes as per law is happening when it comes to the alleged victims or the complainants in this particular case. But as far as the primary accused is concerned, he continues to have meetings after meetings. He meets politicians. The local MLA has paid a visit a couple of times. Another person who's aspiring to become an MLA from the constituency from another party pays a visit. They're all saying they're his disciples. Multiple leaders of political parties, not just the BJP or the Congress, even the JDS, they're all coming out and saying, well, the investigations is going on. We don't want to comment. But a caveat comes in. He's a noble man. Well, he cannot do any wrong. We believe in him. There could be a conspiracy. Now, with such sort of statements coming in from top political personalities, the question that arises is, can the police do a fair job in this particular matter? And if they can, for 4 long days, why haven't they questioned a person who sits in such a position of, where he, wields so much power? There is so much of political patronage coming his way. Can't he really, destroy evidence sitting in the same very place where the victims have alleged that they've been subjected to sexual abuse? Can't he really influence, witnesses? These are questions that really the people are asking, but the police are not saying a word. In fact, we confronted the SP a couple of days ago who had just one word to say. Investigation is going on, and we haven't heard from the police ever since.
Well, two things we often hear. Investigations are going on, Deepak, and the law will take its own course. The question is this how the law takes its own course? We leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Deepak, for joining us from Chitradurga, from outside the mutt, getting us the latest of what's happening there. Going across to my guests who are joining me this evening. This is an even panel. We have Anurag Naidu, who is joining us on the broadcast. He's come in support of the pontiff. We have Bhavna Ramanna, an actor. She's also an activist joining us from Bangalore. She says she knows the seer personally and greatly respects him for all the work that he has done. But where does she stand as far as this particular case is concerned? Pramila ji, we all know you. I don't need to introduce you. Thank you very much for joining us. You are a lawyer yourself, also a BJP leader. Brijesh Kalappa, currently an advocate. Can't call him a politician today, Brijesh ji, but you're an advocate joining us in the capacity of an advocate. And we have T.R. Prasad Gowda, who's a leader of the JDS, joining us. Pramila ji, obviously the first question is going to come from you. for obvious reasons. Every politician who has spoken about, first of all, no one wants to speak about the case on camera. But even those who have spoken about it are saying the pontiff is a very good man, he's a very learned man, he's a man they trust, and let the law take its own course. Pramila ji, is this how the law takes its own course? That the girls have been questioned, they have come out, and I can only imagine the courage that is required for two young girls, Pramila ji. I'm sure you have, you have daughters and you have granddaughters. It must have taken immense courage for these two girls to come out, they're 15 and 16, to come out and say what they have said. And they are watching all of this and thinking to themselves, just like most of us are thinking to ourselves.
I just want to tell you, whether it's a courage or whether somebody has tutored them to speak like that. I have some statements to be made before you. Do you know when these girls were kidnapped from the hostel? About 2 months back, who kidnapped and where they were kept under captiveness and who took them to Mysore? The one administrator of the Mutt, he takes them to the Vadanadi institution in Mysore. In Mysore, 1 month they were under captivation under this very institution, and overnight they come out with this. Before 1 month, these very girls, they were given a statement before the police when the police caught them, stating that, why are you here? The girls say, sir, we were tortured by the warden, so we came. And they asked, where do you want to go? They give a number. What was that number? The administrator's number. The administrator comes to the station and takes them away. And he does not put them back in the hostel. He does not put them back to their guardians, their parents who are nearby. Parents were not given the children. He keeps their 2 children with him, tutors, and he takes them to Mysore. After 1 month, this statement is come up. What is the background of these things? Who is behind it?
Okay.
Is there or is there not a conspiracy? Whether it is there or not is a matter of investigation.
Absolutely.
And I want to tell you,
it's a matter of investigation. Pramila ji, as I said,
right.
I have not argued why has he not been arrested. First of all, we are all reasonable people here. Pramila ji, hear me out. I know you're a learned lawyer, but hear me out. I'm not saying why has he not been arrested. You are telling me that these girls have been tutored, that this is one big conspiracy. Okay, even for a minute, if I believe you, that these girls have been tutored. They have said what they have said. POCSO charges have been slapped against the pontiff. What is the basic thing?
I'm not telling you.
Ek minute, ma'am. Just a minute. Pramila ji, hear me out. Please, Pramila ji. I like to have my guests speak. I want to listen to my guests, but hear me out and I will give you full time. I have 30 minutes of this debate. Don't worry, everyone will get time to speak. Please help me understand please help me understand if it was anyone else on whom these charges had been slapped and these accusations would have come, would the police have waited 5 days and still not questioned him, ma'am? Even for a minute, if I believe you that the girls have been tutored. What happens in a basic investigation? How does a basic investigation happen? The girl's statement has been recorded. What is supposed to happen next? The person who has been accused, he will be questioned, na, ma'am. He has still not been questioned. 5 days, ma'am.
I'll answer. Shall I answer?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
You're telling that what has happened. The case was registered, FIR was lodged in Mysore, Nazarabad. One day it took for them to transfer the case to Chitradurga, which has the jurisdiction. After transfer, the victim statements have been recorded in the presence of the CWC members and the Vadanadi member. After then, there is medical examination have been done. After that, spot inspection have been done where the alleged incident is said to have taken place. Thereafter, yesterday till evening 8:30, 164 statement has been recorded before the magistrate.
Okay.
Now today, the hostel in which the girls were staying, their mazar is being done. This is what done. In the meantime, You are telling what I've done, what have they done to the accused, what has not been done is the question. Section 41A notice has already been issued to the Swamiji, and he was questioned, interrogated. Now why do you say that he has not been put in question? Now everything is recorded there. Once all the records are accumulated, it is for the police to see the records.
Let a lawyer respond to a lawyer.
Whether he must be arrested,
Let a lawyer,
or whether a charge sheet has to be
No,
filed,
no.
and that is where we are.
Let the lawyer respond to the lawyer. Sanjay ji,
Yes, that's
you're a
what
senior advocate of
I'm
the
telling
Supreme
you,
Court.
this is the
Ma'am, I've
procedure.
heard you. I've heard you, ma'am. I've heard you. I hear the point you make. Let Sanjay Hegde, who's a senior advocate of the Supreme Court, respond to you.
No, I don't want to respond to any of my panelists, but the fact is that there have been similar allegations against various other heads of various religious institutions. You have the Asaram case, for instance. In the US, you had the Catholic Church. Now, there have been several instances where, in a religious setting, these incidents have happened. I would not so easily discount the version of the victims and say that this is all a intra-Mutt rivalry. The previous manager has procured the statements, and therefore there is a touch-me-not immunity to the head of the institution.
Mr. Hegde, is it regular? Please help me understand this. Is it regular for someone so high profile being charged of so serious a crime not to be even questioned? I'm thinking to myself, if these charges were slapped against me or any regular person who's not a VIP, is this how the law would have taken its own course? It's been 5 days. I know, under the law, let me just tell our viewers that under the law, the police has 1 month. They need to question the person who's being accused within 1 month. But is this how the law would have treated a regular common citizen?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I heard Pramila ji say that even a 41A notice has been issued. In how many cases have we seen that arrests have been made by police officers when they want to arrest without a 41A? Now, the pontiff is obviously very influential. We have photographs there are photographs in the media with both the head of the BJP as well as the head of the Congress. There are also several awards being given to him to very many famous feminists, including cinema actresses. DP Satish today wrote a nice article saying that even the leftists seem to be rather quiet on this particular episode. The point is that in India, both the Prime Minister and the policeman stand on the same footing. An investigation has not only to be fair, it has to inspire confidence.
Correct.
And it has to inspire confidence
and
in
so
the public.
What has happened in Karnataka, has not inspired any confidence in anyone, despite what Pramila ji is saying. Bhavna Ramana, you're joining us. Your stand is that you know the pontiff personally. You know he's a good guy and he couldn't have done what the girls are accusing him of having done. Point is, the followers of Asaram had said the same thing, ma'am. Bhavna ji, namaskar. Point is, not for a moment am I saying that Dr. Shiva Murthy is guilty. I'm not in a position to judge. I'm not the investigating officer. I'm not a judge. I am not deciding on this show whether he's guilty or not. Bhavna, all I'm saying is that there are two young girls, 15-year-old and 16-year-old girls, who say that they have been repeatedly raped by this man for a period of 3.5 years and 1.5 years. You may have a different image.
Are they now 15 or they were then 15?
They now are 15 and 16 is what I believe.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah, yes, Bhavna. I want to ask you, why give the benefit of the doubt? Why give the benefit of the doubt to the pontiff and not to the girls?
it's very easy to blame it on a man. In all the Me Too cases, you must have seen, it's also many of the time, actually, most of the cases, it's also the innocent men were actually accused of doing such, getting indulged into such actions and activities, okay? But in this case, Chitradurga is a place, it has a very different nativity. And in Chitradurga, the Matha itself runs an educational institution which has a student, the size of the student is more than 10,000 altogether. Altogether. And there I have been as a chief guest many times. Otherwise also I have gone alone to meet up with Mr. Swamiji all the time, because I was supposed to be, I hailed from Chitradurga. My father is of a native of Chitradurga. Then I've been going to Chitradurga, so I know the nativity of Chitradurga. Chitradurga is a very, very backward place, actually it used to be. Unless such education institution, we couldn't see any such future at all in last few years. It's only now the education institution, especially this Muruga Mutt, has done a tremendous work and tremendous thing in bringing up, even to talk about there. Actually it is a men-oriented society, men-led society. Chitradurga is a very different place than compared to Bangalore, or than compared to Shimoga, than compared to Mangalore, than compared to such places. Chitradurga is a men-driven society. And though, despite that, it's only because of such education institution, now the women, now the girls are coming up forward, now the girls are coming forward, and then now they're able to talk, now they're able to take part in all the societal activities, whatever happens there.
Bhavna ji, I understand what you're saying.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand what you're saying. I get your point. I think it's important for you to say what you are. You're also telling us that there were many times when you have met the pontiff, when you were alone with him. And he was your guru, is your guru, and nothing happened.
With him, and also I was...
I understand that. I'm asking you, do you understand the power differential? Bhavna ji, do you understand the power differential? Here you are a grown woman, you're a powerful woman in your own right, you're a successful woman in your own right. These two girls we are talking about, look at the power differential.
Yes, ma'am.
These two girls we are talking about don't have the power you have.
Yes, I completely agree.
So to discount their version and say that, you know, the pontiff is a good guy, he's opened a school for girls, it doesn't mean that he cannot sexually abuse girls, right? Why? I mean, it's happened before. It's happened before in this country. The same thing was said for Asaram. The same thing. Absolutely the same thing was said for Nityanand.
But there are thousands of them, ma'am. There are thousands of them. Ma'am, there are thousands of them in that school, in that education institution. It starts from primary to middle school to high school.
And today parents are withdrawing their girls from those institutions.
Engineering institutions and everything.
Today parents are withdrawing their daughters from that institution.
Sorry, ma'am?
Ma'am, I'm saying that today parents are withdrawing their daughters from that institution. Clearly, if they believe that the pontiff was not guilty, they would have let their daughters stay.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. These allegations are very, very strong allegations. Very, very strong allegation. It's very sensitive. It can put any parent into a fearsome atmosphere, you know. It's very difficult. You can't tomorrow. They may even stop their child going to the school or a college. So in that case, imagine how many children life will be kind of, they're going to lose out their future.
Okay.
Because of such allegations. I think much before, yes, you've been asking questions to...
Yeah, give me a minute. I'm just going to get our other panelists in as well. Bhavna, you've made a spirited defense of the pontiff in question, the man who's currently been accused. But please remember there's a power differential here. These are two girls who were under the care of the pontiff. They were not powerful and strong and successful like you. So therefore, the way he treats you would not necessarily be the way he would treat the girls as well. Again, as I'm saying, I'm not the judge and the jury here. I'm not the investigating officer here. But I don't see any reason why we should not be believing the girls and at least questioning the pontiff. It's been 5 days. What is the message that is being sent out? The message that is being sent out is that the law is not the same for all. We think the law is blind, but is it really? Give me a moment. T.R. Prasad Gowda, you're a leader of the JDS. Have the leaders, political leaders, shamed us as well more than anyone else today? The system is supposed to stand up and protect the weak, shield the weak, believe the weak.
Yes.
And look at what our politicians have done. You have BJP MLAs, you have one from the JDS also. He's a leader, he's not an MLA, who went to pay their visits, who went to pay their respects to the seer and said, he's a good man. We believe what he's saying. This is a big conspiracy. Now, if MLAs of the ruling dispensation are saying this, one can only imagine the sort of pressure that the investigating officer is under. Pehle hi clean chit. Without investigating, without questioning, clean chit.
Yeah. See, the law of the land is same for everybody, whether it is a big man, small man, whether it is VIP, VVIP, whoever it is. And at the first outset, when seer like Muruga Mutt, Shivkumar Swamiji got this kind of allegations, so we wondered, really wondered, because we had a different, mindset upon him. So, but that doesn't mean that we need to keep quiet. We are not here to keep quiet, and we are watching. And the law of the land is same for everybody. And we will insist the government take it forward if necessary. Take him into custody, interrogate properly, no matter who he is.
But your own leaders have come out to support him. I'm very glad to hear what you are saying right now, but your own leaders have come out to support him.
They are also in the same mindset. Initially, I told you, the person like seer person like Muruga Mutt Swamiji, of course, they have a high gratitude and respect in society. Such persons may not commit this kind of crime for the children's. That is the mindset. But when it come to proved by the children's came and gave the defense against seer, and interrogation is going, medical examinations are happening. The government is also not holding. They are also conducting everything. But at this point of juncture, what I suggest to the government and demand to the government, if required, take seer into custody, no matter who he is. That will,
Anurag Naidu, is that what needs to be done? Forget taking the seer into custody, at least questioning him. Are you telling me, Anurag, that he should not even be questioned?
No, I'll come to that. I'll come to that because I
you make a charge against me. Anurag, give me a minute. You make a charge against me, whatever that charge may be. You make a charge against me. The police, how does investigation work? The police will come and question you. Then the police has to come and question me. Na? Basic.
No.
Basic.
No.
No.
No. The basic is
so the pontiff doesn't need to be questioned. Whatever the nature of the.
I'll tell you how it works. No, if you let me say.
Sure, go ahead.
See how it starts is registering a case and putting out in the public domain, and the head of the state, Mr. Chief Minister himself, has said POSCO has been leveled, and it's a very powerful law. So let them also do a preliminary investigation, do the medical trials, have the reports ready, and then take
all of that has been done. Pramila ji just detailed how everything has been done.
So I'm again coming to that. So let them do. They have done it in the last 6 days. And now I'm sure with all the pressure, and they do have political pressure, and they are going to go and invest. I'm sure, take it from me, there is going to be a questioning. But what's very saddening is you said that, we are giving clean chit. Who is giving clean chit here? One or two leaders speaking in support doesn't mean clean chit. We're not in defense of, there's no question of leaving any criminal involvement, even if it was a verbal offense on these girls. Dr. Shivamurthy has a different image. That's the problem here. The conflict is, we have known him for so many years as a different personality, and all the while, we've seen him in that different light, and suddenly there is an incident where we are forced to believe overnight that he's not a nice man. So there is a conflict. Let's respect that, and let us put the merit out there in public. But there is a general narrative that media is trying to peddle, and that is to splash mud on the whole Seer and the Mutt and the Guru community of India. The spiritual community is one of the strengths of India. Let's understand that Dr. Shivamurthy himself has given through Muruga Mutt and several other initiatives, relentless service to society, and nobody denies that. Even if you go to his mutts, you'll understand the services. Lakhs of students have passed out from the mutt. Lakhs of medical aid has been given. So there is a lot of good work. But yes, it is very tough to believe that something like this has come out, and nobody is brushing it aside. We are all we are saying is, let's all follow up. Let be one of them people to follow up the investigation. Let there be every investigation. But even if you force as a media trial, there is every chance to hodgepodge the investigation. And if you force the police to rush, and there might be some things out, things.
I wonder who's,
the media, how it works.
Mr. Naidu, Mr. Naidu, I wonder at this point of time, Mr. Naidu, give me a moment. I wonder at this point of time, looking at the way things have played out, who's putting pressure on whom? Is it the media that is putting pressure on the police to act, or is it the politicians who are putting pressure on the police not to act? Because the impression one gets from the way things have played out is the latter. And you're talking about the entire guru community and spiritual community of this country. Look, fact is, we have burnt our fingers in the past. This is how it starts. First, the allegations come out, then the girls, it's often said that the victims, well, they have been planted, this is a big conspiracy, they are lying, etc., etc. And we've seen how the trial has played out. We've seen how the trial has played out in the case of Asaram. We have seen how the trial has played out in the case of Ram Rahim. We know what happened with Nityanand. Am I saying that the pontiff in this case is guilty, Mr. Naidu? I'm not saying that. As I said initially, I am not an investigating officer.
Mr. Ram Rahim is jailed. Mr. Nityananda is absconding. Dr. Shivamurthy is not absconding. He's there in the mud. People are meeting him. He's giving time to... what's happening here? Let's understand. Going by the media trial, you're playing a narrative of power differential, which is very interesting. I being a normal citizen, I cannot say Prime Minister Modi something, and because there is a big power differential, I cannot claim a victim card. And what media is trying to do, okay, go check what's the toughest punishment. You're flashing all the tough punishment which is possible in this case, and then say, oh, let's get this executed, and let's check the TRP, and that's well done. So things don't work like this in India. Asaram, you took an example, he's jailed. Nobody wants to see him because he's proven guilty. Right, so Dr. Shivamurthy has not fled anywhere. He's very much there. There will be investigation. There will be questioning. Take it from me. If there is not, I'll be the first person to stand against him. But the point is, let us give some time for the investigation. Yes, there is a lot of political pressure. You yourself know, ruling party, opposition, everybody is in his defense. It is a fact, and I'm not denying that. So in this tough situation, let us give some breathing space for the police to act.
Pramilaji, Mr. Naidu, who's essentially supporting the Seer and saying that this is a media trial playing out, even he is saying there is political pressure. The Lingayats are a very powerful community, though I'm fairly certain that if the pontiff is found guilty, no Lingayat will support him. I know that. But we understand they are a powerful community. We also understand there is an election in Karnataka. Is that why he is being protected? Is that why everyone in the political dispensation of Karnataka is quiet about what is happening? In fact, some even coming to say that we think he's not guilty, even before he's been questioned.
It could also be the other way, right? Ma'am, it could also be the other way.
Bhavna, go ahead. Yeah.
Can I tell you?
1 minute, Pramila ji,
allow me to speak.
Ma'am, it could also be the other way. Maybe because there was election, they wanted to bring out this, and they wanted to...
yes, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Pramila ji, go ahead.
See what happened? One of our lady was telling when speaking, the lady speaker stating that Chitradurga is male dominated. No. Chitradurga is known for valor of ladies. Vanakai Obava. Lady is a powerful lady. What did she do? When the enemies came, she did not wait. She cut them. That is Chitradurga. Okay. That is what our ladies should do. If only this pontiff had done some mischief, if only there was something.
Why are you saying if only the pontiff had done any mischief? How are you so sure he's not done any mischief, Pramila ji? Pramila ji, how are you so sure? You're a lawyer, ma'am. How are you sure that he has not done any mischief? I'm not sure whether he has done any mischief or not, but how are you sure that he's not done anything?
Please.
He's not even been questioned. And you have already given him a clean sheet.
Madam, why don't you allow me to speak? See, there is a judge called... You want a judgment? You know what the judgment is? When a complaint was lodged before him, he said, bring that man and cut his head. We'll see the inquiry later. That is what you people want. You people want to hang him, to convict him, to say that he has committed an offense, even before an investigation is done. That is not the law expected of. That's what we are telling. Hold an inquiry.
That is not what we want.
Guilty,
that is not what we want, Pramila ji.
But don't come in the way of investigation.
No one is coming in the way of the investigation. By the looks of it, it is the politicians who are coming in the way of the investigation. It's not the media that is coming in the way of investigations, ma'am. We understand that rape charges are leveled against powerful men. Some are false, but many are true as well, Pramila ji. Pramila ji, the media is not coming in the way of investigations. It's the politicians who are.
Do you know that he's been interrogated? Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Please find out the records. Please don't say something which is not there. He has been interrogated.
No, he has not been interrogated. He has not been questioned so far in the case.
Investigation will come out with the truth. You.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, we've just spoken. Ma'am,
do you know 41-year notice was given to him? Please hear me. Section 41A notice was given to him and he was called. He was taken, he was interrogated, he was in their police custody. Please look at the records. Don't mislead the public and say that nothing has been done. Karnataka police have been doing the miraculous job and it's a sensational case. They are not taking any advice from anybody, be it a politician, be it any other person. They are doing their duty honestly. Please
Sanjay
allow
Hegde.
them to do the investigation honestly and let the truth come out. And once the truth come out, you'll come to know. Somebody was telling about Asharam Babu. You are aware? Ramachandra Swami Mutt. Even there the Swamiji was alleged about the same thing. He has come out clean. Already come out clean. Why do you say? Even there the same complaint was being told by all the public and the media. Investigation has been done. Ramachandra Mutt Swamiji has come out clean. Even here, Muruga Mutt Swamiji, who is coming, who is known since Basavanna's time, 12th century, that mutt exists. This mutt is known for integrity and for sincerity in work, social work also. So don't take for granted somebody has plotted. Somebody has plotted the complaint.
I'm not.
Don't worry about it.
But you have taken, Pramila ji, for granted. You have taken for granted and thought to yourself that the girls are lying. You have decided. When you say, let the investigations find out what the truth is, you are not even waiting for that investigation, Pramila ji. Are you waiting for that investigation? No. You have already said Swamiji is not guilty, ma'am.
Are you aware? In Pokso case, what is the investigation to be done? Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am. I am aware.
Are you aware?
I am aware. And if you want me to tell you, I will tell you, though you are the lawyer.
Guidelines have been laid down as to what the manner in which investigation has been done. Let us not be ignorant of law. Let us be conscious of the law and let us know, allow the things to go on in accordance with law.
Sanjay Hegde, okay, Pramila ji, okay. Bhavna.
No one is interfering.
Can I
Chief
come in?
Minister himself has said that he's not interfering.
Okay. Who wants to come in? Mr. Hegde, you wanted to come in? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should stay away from picking a side and defending it straight out.
Exactly. I agree.
That's what seems to be happening. The investigation should play out, no doubt. But the investigation should also appear to be fair and it should appear to be independent. The more that this kind of vicious defense that these girls have been put up, there is a former MLA who was manager of the Mutt who is behind all this. Why should anybody other than the accused tell that story to anybody other than the investigating officers? All that the press is currently doing is, and the press does not have access to the case diary, unlike Ms. Nesargi, who seems to have the case diary, saying that the pontiff concerned was actually questioned. If a notice is given, then the normal assumption is that till the period of the notice is over, the party does not normally join for questioning. I am not sure where this information comes in that the man was questioned.
No, so he was on his way to Maharashtra. I can tell you this. You know, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. He was on his way to Maharashtra. He was detained. He was brought back. He's now in his mutt. At that point of time, some degree of questioning may have happened. But what you call a sustained questioning after the girls have given their statement has not happened. It should have happened by now. It has not happened.
If he had not been a Swami, would he have been entitled to all this kind of degree of immunity? I'm always reminded of what Mr. Parasran once said in court.
It should be. It should be. It should be. Sir, it should be.
Ravana's sin was
there
not
should
only
be immunity.
That he kidnapped Sita.
As Pramila ma'am said.
Ek minute. Bhavnaji, let Mr. Hegde finish saying what he is.
Just let me complete.
Yes.
Ravana's sin was not only that he kidnapped Sita, but that he kidnapped her wearing saffron clothes. And with this high degree of trust of the public, I thought the Swamiji himself would have gone and joined in the investigation and said, okay, let the investigation in the normal investigating process go through.
Bhavnaji, you've picked a side. You're accusing the media of picking a side and fighting for the girls.
For such cases.
But Bhavnaji, even you have picked a side. Even Mr. Naidu has picked a side. All of you are saying let investigations happen. Then we'll know what actually happened.
No?
Absolutely, we should let investigations happen.
Ma'am, also,
but fact is
say,
that you have picked a side.
Ma'am, I would want to say in most of the cases there is a chance of tutoring the girls, as Pramila ma'am said. It is because the age is also very vulnerable. They will listen to whatever their parents will say. Whatever they're asked to say, they will be. So in such scenario, it's more than investigation. It's very important to understand the psychology of the children, under what circumstances they have come under to give such statements. It's very, very important. It's very important to know their psychological condition, how they have been all year, what their psychological condition right now, what is the kind of pressure. They could also be under tremendous pressure, and because of fear, because it's a huge case and it's a big profile case, and whenever there is such a big profile case and it is POCSO, it's not something very easy case, it's a very serious case. It is a humiliating scenario for the pontiff himself. For anyone.
Bhavnaji, you're a woman and I don't like playing the woman card.
The girls are under tremendous pressure. The parents of the girls are very...
Bhavnaji, I don't like to play the woman card, but since you're a woman here, for a moment imagine if this was your daughter or your niece. Okay? Just for a moment imagine.
Yeah, if it was me and you also. It was me and you also.
Even you and me. Yes, Bhavnaji, I agree with you. Even if it was you and me.
Lives, right?
Even if it was you and me. Imagine the amount of courage. Imagine the amount of courage you require to step out and name your alleged abuser. It takes a lot to come out and do what these two girls have done.
They have to be...
And over and over again, the politicians of Karnataka are questioning the girls and not the pontiff, are supporting the pontiff and not the girls. Look at the images that are going out from Karnataka, from Chitradurga. Look at the number of politicians who are coming from the BJP and the JDS to come and meet the pontiff after he has been accused of what he has been accused. No one wants to believe, none in the political class wants to believe that the girls could be telling the truth. And why is that, ma'am? Because there is an election in Karnataka. Will any lingayat vote for someone or vote on the saying of someone
could
who's being accused of what this
kind of an
pontiff has been
allegation
accused
is
of?
really not acceptable, ma'am. Yes, I know the sections. And POCSO is a very serious section. Anything from the children coming out, it's it can really ruin not just him and his life,
but it can ruin the girls' lives as well.
That is what one has
Why
to think of.
Why are you just seeing it from his point of view?
I'm not saying
it can ruin the girls' lives as well.
Ma'am, along
They
with
have
these
risked
two
a lot
girls,
as well.
the
Please, let's
institution
keep that in
is
mind. They have
giving
risked
life
a
to
lot as well to
thousands
come
of
out
girls,
and do what
ma'am,
they have
thousands
done.
of girls. It's giving life to
And
thousands
every
of girls.
politician in Karnataka wants us to believe that
Not
the
just
girls
about
have been
two girls'
misled.
life. It's
They have
every
been
girl lives
tutored.
matter. Every girl's life matter.
Mr. Naidu, I'm
Yes,
afraid
ma'am,
I don't have too much time on
I
this
really
debate.
feel that. I really feel that they have been tutored because it's.
Okay, you feel they have been tutored.
Yes, ma'am.
Even if they have been tutored, Bhavna, that's the point I'm making, and I'm afraid I've repeated myself a million times, but even if they have been tutored, the law requires for the pontiff to be questioned, and it's been 5 days he's not been questioned. Mr. Naidu is saying that this has become a media trial, that we are not letting the police do its job. Mr. Naidu, it's 41 minutes into the debate. I want your closing comment. And please make it quick because my producer is telling me that I've overshot the time for the debate.
To close it by a small objection that I have never taken a side of politicians. I've been very blunt in telling that they have not come out in support of the girl. And I totally support the girl. The point here is media trial has always damaged our social system. And I don't want that to happen again. We've seen 9/11, what has happened to India because of media coverage and over coverage that the media has given. So all I'm telling is let's be very
Well,
fair
if the
to
media
the
had not gone after Asaram and tracked every victim, he would not be where he is right now, behind bars.
All I'm saying, it's not media's right to set narratives or give closing judgments. That's how media is looking at these days. Because when you say clean sheet de diya, that's what I'm saying. That I'm just objecting to why are you trying to set narrative? Like Mr. Hegde said, let's not take sides. I have never taken side. Prove one sentence in my whole speech when I'm saying I'm taking a side. I'm saying the girls are wrong. Where the other two panels have clearly said that there is a chance that the girls are lying. I never said that. I still stand by my statement. There might be absolutely even an iota of truth in what they're saying. It is a heinous crime and he is punishable. But the point here is, if the investigation has never happened, why will there be a POSCO? That too on a lingayat seer. We have a lingayat chief minister. You have a lingayat parliamentary board who is a margadarshak of Karnataka, Mr. Yadurappa. Still there is a POSCO. Still there is a case. So let's give some credit to the police as well.
Okay. Let's see how this story pans out. We are waiting. We are watching to see what happens next. The focus of the entire country will be on this story because this is a very tall religious leader who's being accused of some very heinous crimes. We'll leave it there for the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us and keeping this debate civil. Thank you very much indeed. We are shifting